Before trading Damian Lillard, the Portland Trail Blazers had quietly built one of the NBA's best young cores. Then they got back two proven big men who are both only 25 years old in DeAndre Ayton and Robert Williams. Both players have already been big contributors on teams that made the NBA Finals. Ayton was genuinely awesome for Phoenix on their run to the finals, and Williams was a defensive monster for the Celtics in 2022. You add these two to the young guard trio of Anfernee Simons, Scoot Henderson, and Shaedon Sharpe, and all of a sudden the group isn't so quiet anymore. It's just legitimately one of the best young teams in the NBA. They also have a two-way player who averaged over 20 points per game in Jerami Grant. Many people assumed when the team traded Dame, they would fall to the worst team in the West, which was already a bit of a stretch. But with what they got back in return, this team could make a surprising run at a spot in the play-in tournament. Many people were shocked when the Jazz played like a playoff team last season, and although Portland doesn't yet have a player as good as Markkanen was last year, I'd say the supporting cast is undoubtedly better. They have four players who have already proven to be well above average NBA players in Grant, Simons, Ayton, and Williams. Then Scoot and Sharpe have sky-high potential as well, and could be high-level contributors this year. The new-look Trailblazers are much better than people think. Now let's take a deeper look at why. Before we get into the sneaky good team from the Northwest, if you enjoy my content and watch a few videos of mine, think about subscribing. 96% of my viewers are actually not subscribed, so if you watched me before and enjoy the content, drop a sub and comment down below. It really helps the channel. To start us out, I'll just be honest and say I don't think people have been paying attention to Portland. I know this because on Twitter, when people are making mock lineups for them after the Lillard trade, I've seen a ton of people making Anfernee Simons the sixth man. He might legitimately be the best player on the entire team, and it's utterly ridiculous that people have no idea how good he really is. I guess he had the quietest 21 point per game season of all time last year. He averaged 28 points per game without Dame last season, and he could legitimately be an all-star this season. Yet people are acting like he's the worst of the three of their young guards. Scoot and Sharpe have sky-high potential for sure, but so does Simons, and he's already arguably an all-star level talent. I'm excited to see the step he takes this season. I started with him because he's arguably the best player for one, but also to show that outsiders aren't really tapped into what's happening with the team. That's the biggest reason why they're flying under the radar, and that people don't realize how talented they are and how good they're going to be. Media Day provided us a glimpse into the team, and Scoot Henderson was on full display. I'd say he was the most talked about player coming out of their Media Day, and he is being fully proclaimed as the Lillard successor. I liked his quote though, where he said, "I'm not trying to be the new Dame, it's a new era for a reason. I'm here to be Scoot Henderson." And he's right, it's a completely different team and no one should expect him to be the guy that Lillard was. But he's going to be himself and he's going to be good. He's got some of the best competitive fire and self-confidence that I've seen in a rookie in some time, and he'll definitely be firmly in the race for Rookie of the Year. I could see him averaging around 15 to 17 points and 5 assists per game. Then we should talk about the main piece they received in the Dame trade, DeAndre Ayton. The 25-year-old big man is going to get more of an opportunity than ever before, and will get to show the level of player he truly is. He averaged 18 and 10 last season, playing alongside guys like Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Mikal Bridges, and Chris Paul at various stages throughout the season. I fully expect those numbers to go up this season, and could see him come out hot and average something like 24 and 12 over the first couple months. The team reportedly is interested in trying him out at power forward alongside Robert Williams in the front court. He was perceived as a very talented offensive big man coming out of Arizona, so I'll be interested in what we see with potentially more of a face-up game this season. Then I'll shift us into his front court mate Robert Williams. He dealt with a lot of injuries last year, as he has throughout his career so far, and that will continue to be the biggest limitation for him. But his best season came in 2022, where we saw him average 10 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game. He's not going to be calling for more touches on offense, and by all accounts he's a very unselfish player, which makes him a good fit alongside Ayton, who does want the ball. Portland will be hoping to see the 2022 version of him and maybe even release even more. He's not exactly part of the young core at 29 years old, but Jerami Grant is just a very good NBA player. He's not an all-star, but whatever level is just below that is what he would be. He plays both ends of the floor and has continued to grow and develop his offensive game throughout his career so far. Last season, he averaged 21 points per game and shot 40% from 3. He's not a very good rebounder for 6'8", but with the team starting a Twin Towers lineup, I don't think that will matter anymore. He's a candidate for a trade as we get further into the year, but will help the team a lot while he's there. I don't know exactly what we'll see from Shaedon Sharpe in year 2, but in my opinion, he should be the 6th man for this team. He can be an ultra energy guy off the bench who could start when the team eventually decides to move Grant, or if they move one of the bigs out of the starting lineup. He averaged 24 points and 6 rebounds over the last 10 games of last season, and has shown he can be a high-level offensive player with more opportunity. He could take a big step forward this season, but he's definitely kind of a wild card. He definitely deserves much more playing time than he got for most of last season, though. There are some other guys that could help, but to me, that is the clear top 6 guys for the team this season. I just think this is a team that's primed to overachieve in 2024. I look at teams from last season, like the Jazz and the later season Nets, and honestly, I just think the Blazers are better. They don't quite have a top guy at the level of Markkanen, and maybe not even Mikal Bridges, but they have more overall talent within their top 6 than either of those teams did, and I'm not sure it's even close. I'd say both overachieved last year. The Jazz really only started to lose when they decided to tank, and although the Nets weren't elite after trading their 2 stars, they were still competitive enough to easily remain in the playoffs. They didn't fall off a cliff. And like those teams, Portland is set up to destroy their expectations. According to FanDuel, they're expected to be the worst team in the Western Conference, but I think they'll easily be better. The new-look Trailblazers are much better than people think. Thanks for watching. I'm Herm. Have a good one.